Hello everybody, welcome back to Alchemy Gaming for the fourth episode of Scenario 3 of Bella Italia. I think it's called Milan Magnifico. And so today, here's what we're left with. We're getting towards the end because now our optional tasks are showing up. So we got a bit of a climb ahead of us here. We need Milan to grow to 120,000 citizens. I knew I should have kept looking at that. I think I even mentioned in the first two videos. I've been really busy personally here, so I kind of forgot about that and I let Milan stagnate. So they're only at 83,000. So that's going to be a bit of a lift. And then I need 1,500 citizens to a rail network. We're at 1.3 million. That should probably happen in general. Then our optional task, 400 wagons with a single train line connecting Milan, Turin, and Genoa. And then we need to construct a university in Bologna. That is growing and it's at, I think, 70-some thousand. So that's maybe possible because we need to hit 90 for university. And then we need 80 loads of leatherwares via factories and businesses. That's going to be a stretch. So the first thing we can do here is maybe we'll do this Milan to Turin down to Genoa. We are coming in Turin, clearly we have to, but we're skipping the Asti Express. So we'll do that. We'll put our coupe vent. Do we want coupe vent or we want the Muka? Let's see, coupe vent 62, 122, 160, 158. Reliability is better. I think we'll go with the RI class 500 and we'll go express. We'll put our two wagons on to make some money. We'll let this thing run a bit. We need a couple trains on this at least. If we can go 3. Okay, let's go 4 for now. And then we'll move on to bigger and better things. Okay, so we got that down. So then if we go back to, we need leather wares. Now this one's going to be tough. I did notice that Parma has a slot open here. So we could put leather down here maybe. Let's see, what does leather wares need? Only needs leather. The tannery, we could buy the sausage plant. No, let's see, do we have, no, we have no bonds. Why do we have no bonds? Okay, 27 million, 37 in bonds. Okay, that's why. Okay, so Bergamo over here, or Bologna, sorry, is at 74. It's not too far off. I could maybe see it's creating sausage, and so is Parma. I wonder if I could buy this sausage plant. Oh wow, it's producing less and it's way more expensive. Like, how does that make sense? Ravenna is nowhere close to an industry, neither is Rimini. San Marino is at 80 and growing. I think we'll put the leather down here. I think that makes the most sense. So tannery needs hogs, so we need 385,000, and then we can at least produce leather. There we go, perfect. So we got that. Now let's look at our, how many hogs do they need? Maybe it won't update. 14. How many of these do we have going into Parma? 3. Let's bump that to 4. There we go. Okay, so that'll give us our leather, but we need leather wares, which is another industry slot we need open to make leather wares. Okay, so this will maybe get to that. The university in Bologna, if we can get that, or even San Marino, we'll probably put the leatherware factory there and then start shipping it out. The wagons will maybe add a couple trains, would help here, I think. And then the 120,000 citizens and the 1.5 million. In fact, let's go back to this Milan Express station here. Now let's find that line. Okay. Yeah, it's this one with the 500 class. I probably should have like copied the line or something so they don't do this whole waiting to be deployed. But anyways, as far as that goes, the rest is doing okay. I could do some other kind of warehouse situation. These are going to grow over here. Some of these are growing. Trent's growing up there. I could maybe do something down here to grow these guys. And Florence is still growing too, if I remember right. All right, just for fun, while we're waiting for some of our things to kick in, we're going to buy Umbria and we're going to connect an express line down to Ancona. All right, so now we have our Ancona Express going up the San Marino Express with 4 RA class 500 Mucas. We're going to put 4 trains on that, leave it on automatic with our 2 wagons, and that should help get some of these guys up to further locations and the further locations down there, so that should create more money. Also, they do have wine, so I left on automatic so San Marino can get some wine from them, even though Rimini is making wine. It's at 0 at the moment, so hopefully it'll pick it up. And we're going to see what else we can do here. Okay, we're going to start growing Turin just because we need better population anyways, but also because of the Milan Turin to Genoa line. So we're going to bring in wood. That was one of the things they needed. Put a taff bale, 1 train on that. There we go. It's fine. It's on a single line. So what else does Turin need? They're getting some sausage, not a ton, but some. They also need olives. Okay, so where's our closest olive here? We got one down there. That may be our best bet, although it is in the mountains. There's one here. Let's see, how much are these guys? They're way up 77. Okay, that could work. So all we'd have to do is connect this to this, and that would probably work. All right, we added in some extra lines here, and now we're going to bring in our olives all the way down here to Turin freight. And one train of that's going to take 40 days, so that's fine with its wagons. And then we're going to bring in a straight Rossano freight to Turin freight line. The main thing is get the sausage over the Turin, and yes, it is a single line, but that's fine. There's only one train on it. And we're going to go ahead and put olives coming into Genoa freight, and we're doing this because that's part of the whole Milan, Turin, Genoa line, so we want to grow Genoa. It is growing a bit anyways. We'll bring this in. It'll help them make more olive oil anyways. There we go. It is a single line, but that's fine. It's only one train. And then we're going to bring in our grain because they weren't getting enough grain, and we'll bring in that full half veil freight. There you go. 22 days. Boom. Single line track. That's okay. And we just put a station down here at the grape. So we're going to use that same train that was coming with grain, and we're going to bring it back to the grapes, have it fill up and come back to Genoa freight again. And if we do that, it says the turnaround's 43 days basically, so that'll work no problem. And it's fine. It's on long sections because it's only one train. So that will give Genoa grain in a bit. Once it starts coming in, they'll have more olive oil to make olives, so that'll be better. The grapes will come in. They are making wine by the looks of it, so we may have to bring the wine in on its own line possibly. And then they need vegetables. Where do we have vegetables? Okay, they're way up here, which is kind of in the mountains. And where else could they be? Are they anywhere else closer? They're over there, which isn't too bad, but then we got to get through these mountains. We could do these foothills potentially from over here, or we bring it down from here. Probably from here is the best way. And we did double up all the way to the grape line, gave the grapes their own train, left the grain alone because of this needing to bring this vegetables in anyway. So we're going to bring in the vegetables straight Genoa freight with a refrigerated car. That'll take 30 days. We'll put a half veil tank on that there. And that should, if I click in the Genoa now, so now they got their grain eventually. See, it's already on its way. Olives are on their way. Grapes are on their way. And then in just a second, the vegetables will be on their way. The wood is not super high, the wood, but we'll leave it for now. It looks like it should be able to make some other item. I don't know what that would be. I guess wine would be probably the next thing to do. Are we making wine anywhere close by? Pizza's making meat. Florence is making meat and pasta. Yeah, probably a wine factory down there would make as much sense as anything else, and that's going to be 481,000. Yeah, they're not making wine in San Remo, so that's fine. And once they start making this, maybe I'll have to bump up the wood probably, because it's going to be probably demanding more, I would think. There we go. So now let's let it run for a second, then we'll back in. Wood 2.9, display 0.4, grapes 0.4. Okay, so everything's about the same, but once they get the grapes, they'll start making wine, and that'll keep them growing. Let's take a look at Parma. Okay, so I did bump up our tannery. It's making a little bit more there. So where's Bologna? It's at 76, not growing. We need to grow that because we have to put a university down. So, okay, the pasta are coming in. The wine is not coming in. That's a problem. They're making cheese themselves. They're a little low on milk, which is a bummer. So we need that cheese to bump up. Then we have flanks. We got grappa. That'll take a while. That'll go higher. This cloth is going to come from, is it Ravenna or Rimini? Ravenna, yeah. See, Ravenna's got tons coming in. 24 more coming in. 13 there already. So that'll start pumping out here soon. Rimini's the one making the clothing. Yes, that's true. San Marino's at 84, still growing. So we need to figure out why is Rimini not producing more wine. Let's see, what do they need? They got tons of grapes coming in, more on the way, more sitting there actually. Wood, they've got 3 coming, 10 sitting there. Maybe we just need to bump it up. 1.4 million. Wow. It might simply be a question that we need to make more, because they should be making full amounts. They should be making 4.8 a week by the looks of it. All right, we have some research available. We're going to take the personal search, which reduces our cost of recruiting by 5%. And then I believe there was another one for 100 that reduced something similar. Let's see. Maintenance post. No. Residual value. No. Okay, there, right there. Public image. So the same thing, reduces recruitment costs by 5%. All right, Milan has grown to 90,000. We're going to put down a tool factory. So we're going to need planks and we're going to need steel. So our steel situation is decent and the plank situation is not decent. Let's see, who's got planks. Bergamo does not. Brescia does, and they got like tons. Now, are they actually coming into Milan? That's the question. Milan to Brescia freight right there. Okay, let's go ahead and put the faster Tafel tank. So Milan to Bergamo, Milan to Brescia. Oh, wow. Okay, let's get rid of this. Milan to Bergamo, and then let's just put a straight train to Milan. Now that they've grown, it's the only problem when you kind of do things early game. You got to kind of go back and change everything. So let's go ahead, put that freight. It's going to run full. And I see San Marino has an industry slot open. It means we're making olive oil, which we need to bump up. I think we'll make preservers. Let's see if they find a spot for it here. Probably out here would be good. Perfect. And then what we'll need for that is vegetables and olive oil. So we got to look at our olive oil situation and see olives 14. So we're at 50%. Okay. Olives are coming from right here. Okay. We got lots. How many are going into the warehouse? To San Marino freight. We have 2. Let's bump that up to 3.
The whole region blossoms. Magnifico.
All right, what do we do there? Oh, we got our 1.5 million citizens connected to a rail network. Means we're looking at this. You can see Milan's up to 97,000, so it's growing decently. The 400 wagons is coming along very slowly. I'm not really sure what I can do there. I got my fastest train on it. It's just a long line, unfortunately. Bologna needs 90,000. They're at 86 and growing. We found a few little glitches I've been working off camera here, like the vegetables, the wine. We're starting to get up again now. We got the citrus fruits. We got some clothing on its way. Preservers we did build down in San Marino, and weather is up in Parma and should be shipping down soon. And I see Milan is hit 100,000, so it's at its limit. We're going to get rid of this immigration office, and we're going to build the university because that's the only hope we have of growing more. And I see San Marino has grown to 100,000. We're going to blow up the immigration office, go down and put a university. And Bologna has also grown, but this time just to 90. But either way, we're going to get rid of this immigration office. We're going to put down a university, which is one of our bonus tasks. No video for it, but there you go. And then we're also going to put in a leatherware factory. And there we go. Now, that was a big one. We can start working on that last thing. All right, so we built specific stations in Parma and Bologna because I don't want this leather messing around anywhere else. So we're going to put leather is going to be high priority. Put 2 trains going to Bologna. Actually, we'll go 3. How about that? And that way it'll bring our leather over. Parma, we have our leather factory maxed out so we can hit 99 as long as I get enough hogs in there, which at the moment there's not quite enough. Oh, look at that. Parma can actually grow a university too. Let's put that in. And there we go. We can, right. It's fine. They're going to need a little bit more hogs, but then we have our leatherware factory here and we can bump that up probably twice at least. So you have to do 80 loads. So the more we can do a week, the better. If we do it this way, we can do 3.2 weeks. So that would take something like 25 weeks, give or take. But we have to make sure they get plenty of leather. Right now, they're going to need, at the moment, they're going to look for how much leather? 4.1 and they got 6.9. Okay, so that still would help to get some more. And Parma, like I said, the hogs are still lower than what I would wish they were. See, where's our hog situation? 29 and 99. That's the best I'm going to get. Let's see. We got a bunch of trains going in with hogs. And then we got this one also going in with hog. We could probably bump that up. Yeah, we'll go 5 on that one. And this one will go 5. And surely, between 10 trains, surely it's going to get enough hog. Although I do have a pretty high max out factory there. We'll max out our olives so that doesn't screw anything up. Milan's at 103,000 and growing. We have 18 transport wagons. I did put a freight line down there as well. So I have an express line doing this and I have a freight line. So that's why I've sort of doubled, but it's still brutally slow. See, we already have 2 leatherwares being made there or have been made. So it's going to be a race on to see what goes first. All right, we have 200 research points. We're going to take company news. So it increases our bonds by 10%. Let's see if that makes a difference here. Oh, it does. Perfect. So let's take this $42 million bond and we're going to bring in a line of white marble over to Milan because it's now demanding that. It's kind of a luxury good, I guess. Yeah, we see Bergamo has grown to 100,000, so we're going to get rid of its immigration office. And we're going to put a university down way up in the hills here. And I want to look and see, is it getting enough cloth from Trent? Got 32 on the way, so it's not really making dresses, which means they're not really going over the Milan. Brescia also is very close. I think we'll go ahead and put a university down there as well. Perfect. Now, Trent, how much cloth does it have going? Oh, it's got tons of cloth. Let's crank out the trains. Trent the Bergamo right there. Put 3 more trains. And Rimini has an industry slot open. We're going to put a toy factory down because we already got planks from nearby San Marino, and we'll get some leather from Parma here. I don't think there's any trains coming into Rimini already, so we'll line a couple up here. And San Marino is almost positive it's sending stuff to Rimini. Gonna look here. You see Rimini in there? There it is right there. So we could maybe bump that up a bit more. There we go. And Ravenna should be very close to hitting 90,000 as well, which would be good because then we can bump up our cloth factory because we got a fair amount of stock coming in, although not a ton sitting in. 8. We need to get as much of that as we can. Looks like maybe we're having some choke points here. Maybe add 2 more lines. That might help. Got a lot of trains everywhere, to be honest. A lot of log jams. These guys, we have Ravenna. So we basically have 11 trains going to Ravenna. And it looks like none of them are sitting here loading either, which is a crazy thing. So we'll just go ahead and bump more up, I guess. So we will put, what are we going to put? We could do glassworks. Maybe that's what we will do. So we're going to have to bring in sand and we're going to have to bring in coal. We got our sand and we got our coal hooked in, and now we just got to lay out our trains. Let's see. We need double coal, then we need sand. So let's go up here and we'll bring our trains down to Ravenna. We made this special station just because we're already a little busy with things here. Go great. I have that on full. Perfect. We'll go 4, which means we'll do 2 of the sand. Colombo in the Ravenna. We'll go 2 because we only need half. There we go. So now we have a glassworks factory going.
Milano has recovered from the aftermath of the Independence War and radiates in a new light. Simply breathtaking. The great construction offensive by the government was a great success. Italy has undergone a big change in recent years. From a torn nation of multiple states in conflict, reigned by the Church and Austria, to a united nation, self-governed, connected through the railways with one another and with the outside world. I could never have done it without you, my friend. Salute to the railways, to Bella Italia.
All right, we got chief executive. That's good. So what did we get? We got 20 of 20, only 1 of 3 for the optionals. So I don't know. We'll go back and see if that makes a difference. So we ended up with 614,212. Then it took us 4.2 years. Company value 377 billion, 179 active rail lines, 437 trains in use, 2,281 wagons, 13,654 kilometers, 106 train stations, 17 city buildings, 18 factories, 21 rural businesses, 30 connected cities, and 52 connected rural businesses. So let's see where our rank is at the moment. So the top person did 846, which is just ridiculous how they could have did that. Let's see where we are. Ikemi Gaming, we are number 115 out of 584. Okay, so let's go back and continue playing. We need another 266 wagons to finish this one, and we need another 24 leather goods to finish this one here. And there we got this one, 80 loads of leatherwares, so that's done. Now we're just missing 215 wagons here. Okay, I put industry slot down. Well, I didn't put the slot, but I put the industry down. We're putting a cheese factory in Turin, and now we're bringing in our milk. We bought it, so we're gonna put tons of milk on here. Bring in freight with our refrigeration car, and we're gonna have to bump this up a little bit. And the cheese factory, we'll bump that up too because that'll be even more freight. We can move back and forth. Boom. And we got 200 research. We're going to take this damping, which will increase our corner speed by 10%. And we're getting very close to 400 here. I have tons of milk going into Turin. I have all kinds of goodies going into Genoa, trying to grow them. That seems to have helped. Definitely when they put extra industry in, it made a big difference because that was shipping even more stuff. Of course, when they grow, they demand more stuff. So that also helps. So we need one more car or wagon, if you want to call it that. And then we're going to hit 400 and that will be the end. And then we'll see if it was worth playing that extra little bit to get a better points or not, because it was March 15th when we technically finished. And now it's July 9th. Let's look and see if it made a difference. There you go. That's our 400 wagons. Now we go into rating. Okay, it made a little bit of a difference. Now we're up to 630,615. I won't read all these stats again. Let's go to our ranking. Okay, so all those guys stayed the same. And I am now 74th. So I made a decent amount of a difference, actually. 74 out of 584. That's not bad at all. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Come back and watch another great video of Viking Gaming.